right, then let's go. Alicia and Reenie here, out for a walk. Reenie is my little best dog friend. She is a scruffy terrier schnauzer mix. This is Sustainable Events Dog Walk, a short podcast from Positive+Impact Event Consulting, where you can get a quick nugget about sustainability for your events and event business while on a walk with Alicia and her dog Reenie. Sustainability is a big project, but we'll get there together, one little step at a time. This week, I'd love to take you through a 4-pillar review of entertainment. The 4-pillar reviews are a little mental workshop I like to do, a good rehearsal for you, to review any area of your event, to look and see where there are opportunities for improvements or taking up the slack on sustainability when looking at the 4 pillars of sustainability. So that is environmental, social and community, personal health and well-being, and economic. And today, looking at entertainment at your event, I'm going to be taking on each of the pillars, not going through an exhaustive list of what you could or should do, but rather just giving you an idea and showing how it is to workshop and entertain really quickly through the 4 pillars, what an improvement might look like, give you some little ideas. I'll do 1 or 2 ideas per pillar, just so that you can see the idea of how to go through this and maybe start practicing it for yourself whenever you're looking at the next area that you're working on for your event, how you might be able to turn up the dial on one of your 4 pillars to make it just a little bit more sustainable, or look at maybe there's a sustainable solution for next year that we can have our eye on for the future. So let's start with pillar number 1, environmental. So looking at environmental, let's do 1 do and 1 don't. Just off the top of my head, and keep in mind when it comes to entertainment, that's such a broad part of your events, and there's going to be hundreds of solutions. It's breadth and depth that we would never cover in 10 minutes, but I really want to emphasize how much we're just doing a little workshopping. So let's say if you want to be adding environmental exposure in your event to get more awareness of the local environment, give your attendees a chance to get outside, get some sun, get some fresh air, this would be a great time for a local area cleanup. Doing a trash cleanup led by a local charity who are able to support you. There's tons around. It can serve a double purpose. You can do a little eco touring first, gives your people, whether they're from the local area, some local pride, or if they're coming from outside to visit the area, gives a chance to see outside the convention center, and leaves everybody feeling like your event left a positive impact on that local environment as well. And then polar opposite for a don't, when you're designing your entertainment for your event, do your best to steer clear of anything that's going to produce a lot of trash and waste. So whether you are looking at crafting or swag, knickknacks, name badges, little things to do with your hands, things like stickers and little plasticky knickknacks and decorated items, just try to keep an eye on not making lots of little pieces of waste per attendee, and also that they're taking something away that isn't just going to become trash as soon as they get through their front door at home. Whatever the swag is, or the souvenirs, or the keepsakes, or the little tchotchkes that you're doing, if they will not be desirable as soon as they've left the convention center or the gala, try to find something else. All right, so next let's look at social and community. Social and community, little reminder, is incorporating the DEI and accessibility. In Europe, they call it IDEA, inclusivity, diversity, equity, accessibility. So one really interesting thing I've seen lately, which depending on your demographic, depending on your event, was a pretty cool opportunity to expose the attendees to different experiences of people with different abilities, which they were playing games. And there were versions of games that you could play as a visually impaired player. So that's doubling up as a fun activity, a point of community cohesion and experience, something super unique that will hopefully be generating compassion for different needs and functionality of people in their community. Another really strong idea that I've seen put into play recently is tapping into the local social and community elements of where the event is happening and bringing in as part of the entertainment either an intro or a special element of the local community. So whether that is a special cultural interest or activity in the community, if there's a big
niche population or something particularly exciting in the place where you are, or the native peoples where you are, and giving some exposure to them through music, performance, spoken word, education, history. There's lots of different ways that you can do it to bring the outside of your conference center or gala inside to the people who are there and tie them into that local community and develop that social net of understanding between all the different types of people who are there. It's a great talking point for later. So the next pillar is personal health and well-being. We've been seeing a great improvement in our industry for taking into consideration people's personal health, seeing things on the agenda like meditation and yoga, and those are excellent. And I would say a great example and even an opportunity to go further. And rather than jamming them into extra spots in the schedule, working on incorporating those types of breaks midday when everyone's around. It's not a special interest that you got to come early for, but opportunities to break up the time, move your body, or take a quiet moment. They don't have to be very long, but it is a good way to give everyone the opportunity to get that experience and take a moment for themselves without having to rush through the agenda. And with that in mind, another more specific and precise agenda item that I would love to see incorporated more is a small exercise movement break after the lunch hour at conferences. So often the agenda is packed tight, and unless you're in a big, huge conference center and going to the opposite end, the likelihood that you get up from lunch and go sit in a 45-minute session is very high. And biologically, we know it helps keep our blood sugar under control and keep us from getting too sleepy and digesty after lunch. So when you're looking at your agendas from a personal health perspective, try to incentivize some extra movement, do your little mini tour or walk around the building or something like that at that time. And then we have our fourth pillar, economic. Of course, the thing that I talk about the most, that's the most important when it comes to sustainability economics for events, is to be buying local, investing in the community where you are. So when it comes to entertainment, I highly recommend to really put energy into getting local entertaining performers, DJs, musicians, rather than importing people, especially if you're at a traveling event like a conference or an expo. Everyone loves the chance to use a name brand DJ or performer, but if you're bringing everyone in from out of town anyway, you might as well use local talent. It'll help build your local network, help support the local environment and the local talent pool, and it's really what we're all after when we're going to a new place for education or conference, to see that place. So everybody wins. And my last idea for you is in economics, another local exposure idea. This one is a fun one to double down on the entertainment value. If you are gamifying your event in any way, try to mix in one of your prizes or one of your winning tiers to include donations to a local cause or charity. Not only does this give exposure and inevitably donations to your local cause, it also is another point of interest for your attendees to engage with the game. Those who are less competitive or less likely to dive in because they don't care about the prizes might be more intrigued about being able to do something that benefits the community. So there you have the 4 pillars of reviewing sustainability in events: environmental, community and social, personal health and well-being, and economic. I'd love to know if any of these ideas piqued your interest, if you have tested out similar systems, and if you have any questions or prompts you'd like me to talk about specifically when it comes to sustainability in events, please feel free to use my email address or Google form that's in the description of this podcast. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll catch you next week for more event sustainability tips, tricks, recommendations, and inspiration. See you then.
Thanks for joining me on Sustainable Events Dog Walk. I'm Alicia Druby, founder of Positive Impact Event Consulting, and I want to help you integrate sustainability into your event business so you're ready to make every event you work on more sustainable. See you next time.